Hi, and welcome to Morning Coffee with Pisan Academy. I'm Deanna, and today I want to talk to you about how to get your kids interested in history. We have a new series that we're going to be doing called Cooking from the Past, and cooking historic recipes is a really interesting way to both engage your family or yourself with history. And there are so many cookbooks out there that you can find on Amazon. We'll put some links in the description below. Anything from ancient history, the ancient Greeks and the Romans, into the Middle Ages, Renaissance, the Enlightenment, the Founding Fathers, colonial America, whatever period that you think you'd be interested in, you can find a recipe for. And how do we know about these recipes? Well, we're going to have to go back to primary sources. Now, there are some difficulties of finding some of the ingredients, which is why it's sometimes easier, instead of looking directly for the primary source, to find one of these cookbooks where someone's already done all the research for you and modernized it a little bit, or even interpreted what these old ingredients were so you could find them in your grocery store. There are some things to know, though, before you start this task. One is that they didn't have sugar in a lot of regions, and particularly they didn't have sugar in the ancient world, so they sweetened everything with honey. So a lot of these recipes you'll be using honey in them as a sweetener. Another thing is now we can go to the produce market and we can find produce from all over the world because of culture contact, and we can even find grapes in the winter in North America, even though you cannot grow grapes in the winter in North America. The modern world is amazing in terms of being able to access all of these foods all of the time. In the ancient world, that wasn't the case. The big three in North America, as North American anthropologists typically call corn, beans, and squash. The old world didn't have corn, beans, and squash. They didn't have tomatoes. So when you're cooking an Italian recipe from the Renaissance, they don't use tomatoes because it wasn't available. These kinds of historical facts are really interesting, and it's a way to bring history into just kind of a normal, fun conversation. Now, the holidays are coming up, and I know a lot of families like to bake cookies or bake things together, so it would be fun to find a historic recipe, even for bread or something like that, and then bring the kids in and then talk about, well, in the colonial times, they had this type of bread, and this is how they made it, and even challenge yourself to try to use as few modern conveniences. So don't bring out the KitchenAid to knead the dough. Do it manually like they would have. Or if you're doing something where you have to grind something, use a matati, which is a flat surface, and a stone, or a mortar and pestle. Some of the ingredients may be difficult to find, and so you may have to plan ahead, look online, order them in. If you're not sure what something is, that can be another fun activity with your children, is to look those up and to talk about it, maybe even research some of the history of some of these ingredients. One kind of fun activity might be just going to the stores and with the recipe in hand and searching for these. Make it kind of like a hunt or a scavenger hunt, looking for these items with your children. It's a nice interactive way of discovering history together as a family. With the holidays coming up and winter where you have less activities outside, this can be a fun way to share an afternoon with your family cooking a historic recipe. It doesn't even have to be as far back as the ancient Greeks. Something from the mid-century or early 20th century can equally be fun, and you can talk about those time periods as well. If you like our videos, please like, share, hit the subscribe button. We have links to our other social media in the description below, and I'm off to cook up some curriculum. Have a great day.